All right. Hey, everybody. How you doing? We are, we got quite a bit to cover today, and we're doing one of these vertical things. I actually kind of like it. It's it's hip. It's kind of the new hip thing that people are doing. Um, so yeah, we're going to do it. But we also got a clip that we're going to be taking a look at of, well, it's Fundie's reacting to Seth Andrews on the Piers Morgan show about the Shroud of Turin. So it's gonna be pretty cool. But I am Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. So what we have here is this David Wood guy, and he is a psychopath. That's according to him. He's proud of it. He's actually, that's sort of like what, like one of his talking points. He's like, look, I'm a psychopath. That's why like atheism is false, or Christianity is true, because of, I wouldn't not be a psychopath. He has a whole thing. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. He's a psychopath. That's the point. And then there's this other guy who apparently, like, I guess used to be an atheist, went on, his name's Apostate Prophet. He went on like the atheist experience and stuff like that. I guess, like, Matt Dillahunty like called him out a while ago or something. Anyway, now he's a Christian. Apparently his wife got saved, and then he reconverted. That he reconverted back to religion. I guess it was a different one, so it's okay. I guess he didn't go back to the exact same religion, because I think he used to be a Muslim. I'm not sure. Anyway, these two jabronis, hope that's not racist, are watching Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan's going to have Seth Andrews on talking about the Shroud of Turin. Let's check it out.
The amount of energy it would take to make a chemical change in the flax, in the linen fibrils, because remember, the image, Pierce, it doesn't absorb like the blood does. The blood fully absorbs into the shroud. The image is just 2 microns. Piers, if you took a razor, you could literally shave off the image on the shroud. It's that thin. It's almost unbelievably thin. And this is what...
It is unbelievably thin. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's almost so thin that I don't buy it.
Science cannot replicate. And so Paulo de Lazzaro at Enea Laboratories outside of Rome, the physicist...
What do they mean by that? Like, science can't replicate? Like, they're not going to believe that it's not Jesus Christ of fucking Nazareth unless we can make another one? Unless we can reproduce this shroud thing from like forever ago. That's really... They're like, yeah, I've got to believe it's Jesus, because look, science can't even make this thing again. What?
This laser expert spent 5 years and his academic reputation to say he estimates the amount of radiation energy it took. And to bring the audience along by the hand, at the moment of Jesus's resurrection, we believe this happened, 34,000 billion watts of cold radiation.
Is 1,000 billion? I don't feel like that's right. I don't know the correct way to say it, but I don't think that's right.
Traveling at 1/12 of a billionth of a second.
1.21 gigawatts, ladies and gentlemen.
Literally so fast.
That was a movie reference from Back to the Future. Yeah.
And because if it would have been hotter, as the STRP team pointed out, conclusively, this was no scorch. There is no paint. There is no dye. There is no pigment. They published those findings. And in many ways, the STRP team did not achieve their objective. I
thought okay. It's so crazy that we keep having to go back to this stupid thing. I thought it was conclusively determined to be a piece of art. Was it not? Was I wrong? Like, I thought it was like some artist did some sort of creative thing way back in the day, and somehow got like a face on this sheet or whatever. And the sheet was really old. They did say that, but like I thought maybe they didn't know if it was like contaminated or like it was an old sheet that the person used, and then but it was but the design and everything was put on it like later and stuff. I don't know. Who cares? Like none of this. It's crazy to me that they hold up this shroud as if it's like anything conclusive at all, or any kind of evidence at all. It's just like, hey, since you can't specifically figure out exactly how this thing was produced, it must mean that the undead carpenter ghost that lives inside my body that I pretend to cannibalize on a regular basis came back to life in it and dyed it by nuclear energy when he came back to life, because apparently that's a nuclear thing. Like it's, you give off a lot of nuclear energy when you come back to life when you're a god. What?
The scientific objective with the shroud is the who, what, when, and how of the shroud. None of those answers have been found. We don't know who did it, how it was done. We can't explain it. We certainly don't have that amount of power radiation to change the chemicals in the shroud. What I try to answer as a historian is why it was done.
Why it was done.
Is that what historians do? They do why it was done. Are they like, I thought historians were just like that it was done. That's it. That just the what happened. Boy, the dead air. Oh my God. You got to talk.
I have to say,
thank you. Jesus Christ.
They need a better opponent for this dude. This guy's way too laid back. They should be jumping in a little more. He should be more aggressive.
Okay, before I go,
Oh.
go ahead.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do. Well, I'll tell you what, Joseph, just before you do, Joseph, just one question and a very quick response, Jeremiah.
Jasper's Jigger what? Exactly. 21.21 gigawatts or whatever.
If we assume that everything you say is correct, that it is dated back
It's not.
to the period when Jesus Christ was known to be on earth and
Nope, not even as far as I understand. No, like it's not even that. No, that's not even what happened. Like we don't know, because I thought that it was dated to way more recent. But am I crazy? What am I remembering? Am I remembering the wrong stuff? Like, what is going on here?
alive and operating, and he was crucified and so on. If we assume it's a crucified body that was shrouded, how many people in that period would have been crucified by the Romans?
Oh, look at old Piers trying to play both sides here. Yeah, boy, that he is quite the devil's advocate.
So it sounds like Piers is saying, okay, suppose this is a crucifixion victim. They crucified tons of people. So what's that mean?
Yeah.
Have to say, lines up really, really well with Jesus, because you have the puncture marks around the head and so on.
Oh, there's no other way to get puncture marks on your head. It's got to be. It's crown of thorns are fucking impossible. That's what that is.
Many thousands. They were experts. So remember, the Persians invented crucifixion. Alexander the Great made it great with Hellenization. The Romans perfected it, especially in the Syrian province. We have 20.
Did you say they made it great? So Alexander the Great, he made crucifixion great again, if you know what I'm saying, right?
21 different records of Roman victims being nailed to the cross, not hung to the cross. What takes it beyond all doubt for me, in 10 seconds or less, the helmet of thorns. There are 50 puncture marks on the scalp and the back of the head, and that makes it beyond all doubt that it's Jesus of Nazareth.
Gotta be. It couldn't, again, no other way. And they're not even saying like the crown was there, like that you could see it. Like, did they take it back off? Are they in the business of are the Roman soldiers like, oh no, I need to get my crown back? I know I put it on him as a joke to like torture him and stuff, but I kind of need it back. That goes on my wreath. And my mom's going to be very unhappy. She's going to notice. She's going to notice if the thorns aren't in the wreath. Yeah, we hang it on the door. It's really nice. Yeah, they got them on Etsy. Yeah. I think my cousin actually makes them, puts them in there. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
No one was crucified the way Jesus was.
Okay, Joseph Atheist.
This is after Piers rudely interrupted this guy when he finally decided to jump in with something.
You want to respond to the various things you've heard?
Well, I have several responses, one of which, of course, is
It's Pierce's show, dickhead.
that nobody would deny the immense amount of detail in the cloth that matches the gospel accounts. There's no question about that. Getting back to the, I would say, overarching a comment is that if God wanted an image on there, he would have just put it there, and he doesn't have to explain it to us about how it was done. I appreciate the radiation comment that just made, but it turns out that there's no natural radiation mechanism that would give rise to that image. Now, so if it in fact was as the scientists said it was, well, that was a miracle. There's no question about that. And you're asserting that, of course, the image is a miracle in the first place. It turns out that the image content itself by Ray Rogers, it turns out to be oxidized cellulose, either oxidation by heat or oxidation by some other mechanism, for example, acid, okay? And that acid plays into one of my theories regarding the 14th century origins of the cloth. So there's a lot more background here in the scientific domain than can be described in this very brief interview. But there's a lot of factors that are associated with the cloth itself. As he pointed out, the image at the time that we did this, what we found out was basically what it was not. Okay, strangely enough, it wasn't a painting.
Nitty, hey, where you been? Yeah. I heard that one of the other idiots around here tried to run you off. Is that true? Because I will get them out of here. Okay, if they're trying to run you off, we're not having that. Subdate. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see you. I still need to get you on the show too, by the way. I keep forgetting to reach out, but what's up, Nitty? I'm excited. Nitty. Kevin, Nitty's here. Yeah, no, he's in the chat. I know. Yeah, he's in there. I know.
We're no brush strokes,
Cool.
and we have no immediate
That's awesome.
explanation for the image. Subsequent investigation showed, as I said, that the image itself is a form of oxidized cellulose, which could have been, as was pointed out, by a blast of radiation, but it could also.
Okay, so you're saying the image is
With which ones, Nitty? Nitty said these people are so fucking. You can't add another syllable to fuck like that. What are you from, Kentucky? We're just adding syllables just to. Boy, that is for yucking crazy. I forget what we were talking. Oh no, which two? What are we talking? Are you talking the two scientists or the two idiots over? Wait, where? I can't see where I'm pointing to. You know what I mean. The people reviewing the video. Which ones?
Oxidized cellulose. So that's the browning on the cloth.
Oh, it's a censorship thing? Okay, well, that's fair.
And Jeremiah Johnston was claiming that it's a burst of radiation. And this other guy says could be,
as we all know, is what happens when gods pop back into life.
Caused by heat or something else. Or
Heat or something else, maybe.
or acid. I think he said heat or acid.
You got to take it, but you can see some pretty cool stuff when you do. I don't know what that would, how that would affect the actual blanket.
Could cause.
Sorry, shroud. I'm sorry.
So you think the image was caused by acid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you take acid, you see images, right? And so he was trying to say, if somebody took it and then they're like, holy shit, there's a face on that fucking blanket thing that's from forever ago.
I think you might be on acid if you think that's a good explanation. No, I don't know.
God damn it. Why would you? You just went and stepped on my joke there, and just sort of did.
I'm trying to think.
God damn it.
I'm trying to think what he would think, like, as far as how they're putting this together. Like, if you think it's 13th or 14th century or something like this, and they're using acid.
I know that acid didn't come around until the 70s. We're just going to keep doing this same joke. Okay.
Or heat.
They did have heat. Okay. That, that had been around for a little bit since the invention of fire.
If you were faking it, here's the thing: if you were faking an image of, wouldn't you just like paint it or something like that? I'm trying to think what the motivation would be for someone to make that. I don't know, but we'll see. What's he got?
Have been printed there with heat or with acid. And my thesis, again, going back to the 14th century origins of this, is that the ink that was used at that time to print textiles was an iron gall ink, which is corrosive, and the document preservationists at this time, in fact, worked tirelessly to save documents from themselves, because the ink eventually eats all the way through the cloth or the material that the whatever was printed on. So that plays quite readily into my theory about the possible 14th century origins of this image. Okay, it was block printed. It was block printed with iron gall ink. A form of block printing explains all its optical properties: the negative image, of course, the high resolution, and it also explains the so-called 3D property. That's what you get when you, with a carefully sculptured low relief that's printed on cloth. And again, if it's printed with iron gall ink, over time, the iron gall ink would flake off, because linen is difficult to dye and to color. So ink would flake off over time and eventually corrode. And that's what we see right now in this time period. We see a corrosion of the surface of that cloth, and that is in fact what causes the image proper, as you pointed out.
Okay, so that's an interesting theory. He said there's a kind of ink that you can use that if you were to draw it on, the most of the stuff would eventually flake off, but it has a corrosive feature to it, and he thinks that could make the image.
Before, there's thousands of articles that have been written about all of this. It goes on and on forever. My position is simply try to explain how this thing was done in the 14th century. And again, if it's a 14th century image, I think that this is a reasonable, has a lot of circumstantial evidence to show how it was accomplished. There's geographical factors.
I don't understand. Is this guy like a skeptic or something? Is that what we're to believe here? This guy, he's a skeptic. But the other guy is all out Christian. This guy, skeptic. I think that's what we're saying here.
Textile printing was in great development going on just north of Luray in France at that time period. They were printing textiles. Somebody who had the skills could have migrated down to Luray and created this. There's a confession on record, which of course hasn't been corroborated. Look, the 4 pillars of authenticity from a rigorous scientific perspective are: 1, its age. It has to be 2,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. 2, we have to show that the cloth ensconced the body of Jesus Christ. 3, there has to be some sort of chain of custody that shows that, where was it for the last 2,000 years ago? And 4, there's no mention of this. There's a glaring absence in the Gospels of this image. And, you could rationalize all those, but those are hardcore scientific factors that have to be established before.
So it sounds sounds like he's saying it sounds like he's saying what would convince him. Like, what would you take as proof that this is authentic? He said you'd have to show that it's old enough, that it's 2,000 years old, that it was actually that this was the cloth wrapped around Jesus. You'd have to show where it was during all this time. So that's kind of what would impress him.
Yeah, and Jessica's saying, finally, someone brought up the chain of custody problem. I didn't even know that was a problem. I don't, honestly, to be totally straight up here, I don't know much about the Shroud of Turin. I thought it was kind of just recognized as a hoax forever. I feel like I even thought it was a hoax when I was a Christian. I feel like I thought, I remember like people saying that, and I was just like, oh, okay, good, even back then. But now what? Now they're bringing it back. They're like, no, we can do this again. I Again, I don't know what the criteria was that they were using in order to determine it was a hoax, but that was what I always heard.
You claim rigorously that this is the authentic burial cloth of Christ. That's my,
and just to be
basically
clear,
my story.
yeah, no, I understand, and you've articulated it very well. But just to be clear, if your thesis is correct, and it was from the...
Did you just say if your feces is correct? Look, nobody's feces is correct. Okay, they're all wrong.
14th century, is your supposition in that circumstance that it was a deliberate forgery intended to dupe people into thinking it was the genuine shroud of Jesus
That's
Christ?
actually a good question. Good question. So what do you believe motivated this? Do you believe someone in the 14th century said,
Is his head really that big? Am I the only one seeing this? Why he's like a human bobblehead or a human Funko Pop thing, which both those are based with, they both have really big heads. I don't know if people know what either of those are.
down and said, hey, I'm going to put this together to dupe people into thinking that this is the burial
Or he just has a remarkably small body. I don't know. Something weird is going on here.
cloth of Jesus? Or do you believe it was made for something else? Again, I've seen people think that this was made for like a play back then, and it just ended up, after being in a fire and stuff and so on, just ended up with some interesting features by luck, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of one of the things that I was going to ask, because they're like, oh man, it has like all these like charred marks on it or whatever. It couldn't be the case that like it did light on fire or something, and then somebody put it out, or somebody dumped a bunch of water on it and then left it, and that was just the way it burned in, or something. I don't know what, because there was like, maybe there was like flammable ink, right? That they had his face on it or something. I don't know.
But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what this guy thinks about that.
Well, there's several lines of thought along that question. One of which it was a artistic representation.
Dude needs to get a microphone. This is ridiculous. You're on the Piers Morgan show, bro. Like the dude's got like 18 million subscribers, and here you are, like you're fucking Charlie Brown's mom. What is happening? All right, who won today? How's everybody doing? Y'all feeling all right? How do you like the vertical thing? Is it working? Is it working for you? Well, I feel like it's working for me. I don't know. Does it look good? I don't know. Anyway, who won today? Let's see. Oh, Pandora's Pinata won. Oh, and it puts them at the top. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Sure, why not? That's all right. And who else we got here? And second was Drusilla. Hey, Drusilla, how you doing? Hiva hoy, Hivo, Hivahoy. I don't know if it's a long or short I, so I'm not really sure how to. Anyway, and who is there? Let's see, Jasper. What's up, Jasper? How you doing, dude? It's good to see you. Giga what exactly? Yes, 1.21 of those. Yep, that's right. And Nitty, what's going on, Nitty? Hell yeah. Historians can't answer why questions unless the primary source says so. Okay. Oh, yeah, I could see that. I feel like that's what I was thought. Like, I thought historians just answered the what. They're like, here's what happened. I mean, I guess you could say, like, this is the event that caused that other one, but rarely is anything caused by, like, one thing, I don't know. Anyway, Nini Baba, how you doing? What's going on, Nini Baba? Doing all right? Looking good. Oh, yeah. Great Scott. There you go, Jessica. How you doing, Jessica? What's up? So the Shroud of Turin was made during the Renaissance. That great period of Christian fan art and fan literature. Yep. That was what I feel like I heard, was that it was from the, well, way later. I don't know if I knew. I'm not good with periods, That's not. I was homeschooled. Okay, that's my excuse for everything I'm stupid about. Let me see. I was like, oh, Dan Steely, how we doing, dude? What's going on? So you punks look terrific. Thank you. I did use some blush this morning. So, I don't know why. I was experimenting with blush. Apparently it's supposed to make you look younger or something. I don't know. Anyway, what else we got here? It pays you. How you doing, dude? It's David. What's up, David? Wasn't the shroud originally in the possession of the family of the head of the Templars? Okay, conspiracy man. What? Yeah, and it was the Masons next, right? And the Illuminati actually got a hold of it. Just save it, okay? Come on, man. What are you doing? Your conspiracy crap. Kip Davis, how you doing, man? What's going on? So is that Jeremiah J. Johnston? I don't know. The Jeremiah J. Johnston who went to Oxford? Probably it's Piers Morgan. He gets the real people. That he's something. He walked off of a very big television series, a very big television program that he was part of, and then he just switched to YouTube. And you know what? Seems like it's working for him. Hellbound Hillbilly, how you doing, dude? Shroud of Turin is one of the best known unattributed paintings of all time. There's a painting? What? I'm very confused. Wait, Kevin, what is the Shroud of Turin? Because I feel like I'm getting mixed. I feel like I'm getting mixed information just all over the place. Kevin, the Shroud of Never mind. You know what? God damn it. Kevin, what are you even doing here? Can you at least fucking Google it or something when I ask you something? I gotta look at the screen. All right, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We'll let Piers Morgan explain it to everybody. That'll give us a real clear answer. Jesus Christ.
Show the crucifixion to a number of people who were quite illiterate, couldn't read the Gospels at that time. That's one explanation for why. The other one was a deliberate forgery that was designed to entice pilgrims to that church in France. And in fact, as it said, the confession, there was
pilgrims. Is that what he just said? Like the ones that have the little buckles on their shoes? Is that what really? They eat turkey, right?
Confession on record. Somebody said, a priest wrote to the Pope saying that, yes, it's a forgery. The person who did it confessed to me that it was. Okay. And I think the Pope writes back and says, no, okay, you can show it, but don't tell anybody it's real.
Dr. Kemp said every time he mentions Oxford, you all have to drink, but not just a shot. I'm talking about slamming a bottle of tequila. So we all have to die. That's what we have to do.
Well, of course, that was lost. It in fact enriched the local parish a considerable amount because all the pilgrims were traveling to that part of France at that.
So
what's up, AJ? Hey, and John, how we doing? What's going on, y'all?
That would be a motivation if you could fake something. And so I guess the theory here would be you drew something on there, and this would get a bunch of pilgrims. You say, oh, hey, we've got the burial cloth of Jesus in our area, and this would cause people to visit and spend money. And then...
Oh, yeah, those pilgrims. Dude, they're big spenders. As long as they think you have a rare artifact of the Jesus persuasion.
All the interesting features of the shroud that we talk about today would just be some sort of happy accident. Like you use ink to make the design.
Accident is what I like to call it. But yeah.
The ink flakes off, but it had a corrosive effect and therefore left this photographic negative or something like that.
Let's
see.
Yeah. So, the forgery.
Dude, what if this is funny to me? Like, what if it's literally just an old blanket, but because of the way it was like draped or something, it was like draped in a particular way or whatever, just deteriorated in a particular way, right? And humans see faces in fucking everything, right? Just like the Jesus and the dog's butt, right? You know what I'm saying? And so somebody was like, hey, that looks like a guy's face there. And we're all like, whoa. And then they're like, this is an artifact now. This is an artifact. No, it was really just some homeless guy's blanket or something, from forever ago.
Explanation could be a possibility given its 14th century origin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I want to bring in another guest now because both of my
Hey, Rainbow Ash, how we doing? What's going on?
On,
experts
you're going to bring in another guest? This guy looked like he was ready to respond to this stuff.
questions, as am I. So in the interest of balance, we're going to be joined now for the final part of this debate by author Seth Andrews, better known as the Thinking Atheist. Well,
See that? The thing.
Oh, you're gonna piss him right off, dude. He does not. You do not call him. How much you want to bet he's gonna fuck? That's gonna be the first thing he's gonna say. Actually, I am not the thinking atheist. In fact, the thinking atheist is more of a concept that says that we should all be thinking atheist, whatever the fuck.
You've got the Christian Thinkers Society or whatever, and then this guy's the thinking atheist and so on. Everyone putting thinking in their stuff.
But he had Seth Andrews.
Unlike you that puts what do you put? Wood. You put wood in yours. I mean, and then like, what are you thinking about? And if you want some wood, just go to can I still do my ad thing? Oh yeah, I think I can. Go to Adam and Eve. Yep, it still works. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole odor. That's right, I said odor, and for good reason. Go to adamandeve.com. You're gonna discover some odors. You know what I'm saying? If you use these products correctly. Anyway, go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley. All right, here we go. Yeah, I feel like this works. Right? This works. Maybe we can keep doing this.
You familiar with them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to get you out to more people or something. Because, like, you know, YouTube is like in competition with this other app the kiddos are using or something where they all dance or something. Anyway.
Was he one of your heroes when you were an atheist?
No, but he was a friend. He was friendly. I interacted with him once or twice. You know.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Oh, no, he was just a friend. Go fuck. First of all, go fuck yourself, buddy. No, actually, we were buds. Yeah. Yeah, me and old Seth go way back. You know, oh man, we used to braid each other's hair at sleepovers and stuff. It was pretty crowd. Yeah, we were tight. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at he's only on for a couple minutes, so they just bring him in here at the end. Not the way Muhammad brought people to his end, but they bring him at the end here. Let's see what he's got to say about all this.
Was that a grape joke? Was he doing a grape joke? I think, I don't know. This dude, this David Wood guy, he debates a lot of people about Islam for some reason. Not really sure why. I don't understand interfaith debates, to be totally honest. I feel like you could just both be like, nah, but I'm right because I'm right though. And they're like, no, well, actually I'm right because I'm right. And that's basically interfaith debate, because they're just like, but my faith though. And they're like, yeah, but my faith though. And that's it. They're like, I'm right because I decided it. Faith. That's what faith is. Okay.
Andrews, welcome to Uncensored. You've been listening to this. What is your response?
Actually, let me clarify. The thinking atheist is an icon. It's certainly not me. I came out of a faith culture. And so it's an icon that represents using reason to try to figure out what's true in the world.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit. We just breezed past it. Hold on. Did he correct him?
Certainly not me. I came out of...
Andrews, welcome to Uncensored. You've been listening to this. What is your response?
Actually, let me clarify. The thinking atheist is an icon. It's certainly not me.
I'm sorry. It's not a... What did I say? It doesn't matter. Icon. Okay. Yeah. He cannot... I swear sometime, one of these days, he's just going to say this whole thing and everybody's just gonna be like, I haven't even introduced you yet. So you go, I don't know where you're at, what you thought you heard when I was about to introduce, but I haven't even done that yet. But okay, got it. You're not the thinking atheist. Kind of weird about this whole thing, going to be honest, okay? Because like he just says it so often that somebody's just going to be like, hey, and this is the host of the podcast thinking, well, actually, I am not the thinking atheist. God damn it. It's an icon. Okay.
I'm out of a faith culture. And so it's an icon that represents using reason to try to figure out what's true in the world. And I'm certainly not a great thinker, but I'm an exvangelical. I was a Christian broadcaster.
Yeah, I don't feel like you want to on a debate. Don't be like, I'm a terrible thinker, actually. You know, but I'm just here to represent the atheist position. But boy, do I suck at thinking. Anyway, what were you guys talking about?
For 30 years, and now I am on the other side of the faith, looking at it through the other side of the lens.
No one ever asked you your entire life history, man. Talking about the Shroud of Turin. I have to wonder what this guy's connection is, because you're talking about two researchers here. The guy in the middle has been studying it for decades, and he was part of the original research team. You got Jeremiah Johnson. He came on board.
He's from Oxford, or was it Oxford? Harvard, Oxford. It's from one of the Fords. I don't know, one of the Ivy League Fords.
Sometime more recently. What is Seth Andrews' relevance to this discussion?
That's what he's trying to explain, man.
Oh,
yeah. Shut the fuck up, David. Okay, let your co-host tell you. Shut up. What are you, Kevin? What's happening? It's like, because that's what he's trying to explain, idiot. Why don't you shut your fucking face?
Right. So tell me about your view of the Shroud of Turin. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think the whole thing is just a PR stunt? What do you feel?
I think the whole thing is a PR stunt, and it is a hologram. That's right. It's not real. Okay. I watched this lady talking about how like they can make hologram. Charlie Kirk wasn't even there. It was a hologram. All right. And yeah, he's on an island with Tupac, you know, and Hunter S. Thompson, probably. I don't know. That would actually be cool if he was still anyway.
I think he's gonna say it's real.
Of course, I think it's real.
This is obviously a photograph of the resurrection of Jesus.
What I see,
I'm deviant outcast. How are you doing, man? I voted no in the poll. Because sometimes you just need to say no. You know? No. I don't know. No. I get it. Yeah. But it's Piers Morgan, man. You know, we need representation on Piers Morgan. Have you seen the douche canoe bags that go on that fucking show?
mostly around the shroud is a tremendous desire to believe, to connect dots. And it's totally understandable, you know, people who lean into the Jesus story, but, you know, whether or not it dates to the time of Christ or to the medieval era, and I tend not to discount the carbon-14 date. I think apologists are quick to brush it aside, and then they throw out a lot of fancy letters at the end. But I don't think that we have seen a debunking of the carbon-14 dating of the fabric. But even
I was like, what? That was weird. He's like, I don't think we've seen a debunking of the debunking. So it's just, you know, looped around. It kind of freaked me out for a second. I was like, what? We haven't like it is actually genuine. Actually, because we haven't seen it debunking. But he's talking about a debunking of the debunking of the time period or whatever that it was supposedly from.
And if it did date back to that era, I mean, we're talking about a time where the Romans crucified hundreds of thousands of people. And so now we're connecting a dot and saying this looks like a crown of thorns.
Yeah, there was punctures on his head, man. Everybody knows that there's only one way to get those crowns of thorns. And apparently they take them back off before they wrap you up. You know, because the Romans are really concerned about they want their crown back.
And so therefore it is the Christ. And we root that in the Bible itself and the Christ account in the Bible, which is hugely problematic. I heard references to Josephus. I mean, the Antiquities was what, 60, 70 years after the alleged death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Josephus.
Look at this dude's face, man. Look at his face. What a fucking idiot. What do you even? Wow. Come on, man. Shut the fuck. Just stop. Just tell your face to shut the fuck up, okay?
This was not an eyewitness, and the only reference to Christ was not about the crucifixion, the resurrection, certainly not the Shroud of Turin. The Gospels, I mean, they're not reliable because I think the earliest gospel being Mark was 69, 70 something CE, long decades after these events were supposed to have happened. The authorship of all four gospels is not known. Nobody has pinned them down. Nobody can authenticate them. And beyond that,
I have to say this. I know he's your hero, AP, but this is
It's
just
a very
terrible.
old talking point, and it's a pretty bad one. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty bad. Guys, remember?
What is the wait? What? First of all, it's not necessarily a talking point. It's just a fact that flies in the face of your conclusion. But and I don't even know which one he's talking about. What, the fact that it was like super that nobody reported on Jesus even existing at the time period that he supposedly existed or whatever, that it was 60, 70 years after the fact. That's just a talking point. It's just a bad one. It's just a bad talking point. Why? Why is it just a bad talking point? Like, it's really odd that there were no that there were no like philosophers or politicians or anything at all mentioning Jesus's existence anywhere. That I feel like that's kind of weird. And then the only people that did mention him that were historians and stuff weren't born until after Jesus had been dead for a while. So
remember early on when gosh, what's that guy's name in the middle? I don't think I caught it. The guy in the middle, and I
lead on.
pointed out this is an interesting bit of reasoning. He pointed out, hey, something that's interesting about this is that the carbon dating. And he said, yeah, you can explain that in other ways. You can say that the carbon dating was based on parts of the cloth that were not original and so on. So it was a later date because it was later cloth. Or you could say it was contaminated somehow. You have different explanations. But isn't it interesting that these details line up so well? Namely, yeah, you can have doubts.
That Danny like responding to my he took the crown of thorns back, the Romans he said recycling was actually big in the Roman Empire. Yeah, they want to make sure to be able to reuse their crown of thorns. Maybe give a bloodborne pathogen to the next guy, even though he's gonna be dead in a minute anyway. But still, it's the point. It's the point. Right, just that extra level of, and you're getting the blood disease too, buddy.
But it lines up with when we have historical records of when we know what we're actually talking about, that we're talking about the Shroud of Turin. These things converge. These lines of evidence are converging and so on. Along those, guess
what? The lines of evidence are, all lines. Everything can be a line of evidence that's converging as long as you just are confirming your bias. That's how that goes.
It's what that is an important way of reasoning when you're dealing with evidence. But following that same line, wouldn't it be interesting? So for me, the by far main issue is the dating of the thing. If it's first century, my confidence in its authenticity would go up to 99% if this thing turned out to be first century. It's just the dating.
That's it. You're saying, oh, it's got to be a magical blanket that wraps, the undead carpenter ghost that flew off into the sky after he came back to life after 3 days. As long as it's dated right, they're like, it's got to be. It's got to be. This is the only way. It's from the right time and everything. What are you talking about? It's got to be the magic guy thing.
Was confirmed. But he's saying, hey, even if it goes back to the first century, tons of people were crucified. And so why would you think that this is Jesus? Oh, because of the crown of the crown of thorns, but you just have that in the gospel.
No crown of thorns. That's not apparent at all. Punctures. Just some punctures on his head.
Gospels and the gospels can't even
or not even scratches. Like, we don't know what the fuck they are. They're things that that he bled out of.
You can't even be trusted. Okay. Wouldn't it be odd if the Romans, who we have no evidence would put crowns of thorns on people except for
it's actually not that weird. Jesus was a nobody in his lifetime. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, well, apparently he was enough of a like a cult leader. I mean, I guess there was a bunch of cult leaders anyway. And I was gonna say like, oh, but he, got enough of a following, and after he went and flipped some tables over in the temple, they were able to convince the Roman, the Romans or whatever to go crucify him and stuff. But yeah, that's actually not that big a deal. That probably happened all the time. You know what I mean? They're just like, guys, flipping tables. No shit, spilling our money everywhere, man. Go crucify this fuckhead. Just get him. Just crucify him.
The Gospels, which said they did this to mock Jesus because they were mocking him as the king of the Jews, and so they make a crown of thorns and shove it on his head. Wouldn't it be amazing if
we don't have
the Gospels just made up something about the?
It's crazy too. Like earlier, hold on, where are we at? Let me see. We're at 22:59. We'll just say 23 for good measure. Okay. It was. Where is it? It's like I feel like they showed it a minute ago. I really wanted to see what it looked like. Where is it? The fuck? Where did the picture of it go? Might just be skipping over it because it's so short. Oh, there it is. Look. Okay. I can't zoom in. But you can see there's not on his hand. I know it's got to be tiny for y'all with the phones. But with the little vertical thing. There's no crown there. It's just there's some spots like here on his head. That's it. Yeah, this does not look real to me at all. But what the hell do I know? Anyway, what do we say? 22 something.
Even if it goes back to the first century, tons of people were crucified. And so why would you think that this is Jesus? Oh, because of the crown of the crown of thorns, but you just have that in the Gospels, and the Gospels can't even be trusted. Okay.
Yeah, I would have gone the direction of there isn't actually any crown of thorns there, but like I just demonstrated. But sure, yeah. I mean, the Gospels say all sorts of crap. I mean, they said that the Jesus's birth story. That King Herod was around, and they had to figure out a way for him to be from two different places. So a census. They had to do the census thing where they're like, hey, you got to go back home to be counted, because they're trying to make sure they know how many people are where they are. So everybody needs to come here so they can be counted so that they can leave again. Fuck, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. I don't know any. Anyway, but yeah, there's all sorts of stupid shit in that shit.
Wouldn't it be odd? Wouldn't it be odd if the Romans, who we have no evidence would put crowns of thorns on people, except for the Gospels, which said they did this to mock Jesus because they were mocking him as the king of the Jews, and so they make a crown of thorns and shove it on his head.
That's another thing. Like, how do you know that? How do you know they didn't just make up that whole thing of, oh, he's the king of the Jews, and that's why? Maybe they just tortured everybody with thorn crowns. You know what I mean? Maybe, right? They just came up with that little thing to make Jesus special, even though that's just the crucifixion hat, really. It just kind of goes with them. Drusilla asks if this dude used to be an atheist. Yeah. This is an apostate prophet. He used to be an atheist. He even, I want to say, went on the Atheist Experience and stuff like that. He said he was friends with Seth Andrews and shit because he used to be part of the atheist community. And then his wife got saved. And then so did he shortly after.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the Gospels just made up something about the crown of thorns?
Okay, let's see. Dr. Kips. But it's not first century. We know how old it is. But they're trying to act like there's some kind of something. I don't know. I don't know where they get it, what it is, that discounts that what do you call it? The age experiment or whatever. What the fuck is it called? Like, my brain is not working. Oh, you're welcome, Giselle. Anyway, you know what I mean. When they aged the stuff with the carbon dating. God damn it. What the fuck?
And yet, the Shroud of Turin had someone with a crown of thorns, and that would be too much of an amazing coincidence there, guys. The Gospels made it up, and yet you have a first century cloth where
there's some pokies, there's some little marks on his head. Got to be a crown of thorns. And see how you're just making leaps in logic, man.
Just by chance, your only image of the time of a crucified victim, he happens to have a crown of thorns on him. That would be too much. You should be looking at this kind of converging evidence.
And he doesn't have a crown of thorns on him. He has a couple of marks on his head. That's it.
Dude, and not thinking that you making fun of the Gospels really answered this issue. So do better next time, man.
You do better.
The Bible is the same book.
With your faith.
It makes all kinds of claims we might reject in another context, whether it's giant.
Cup is too big. That cup, too big. Man, get a normal size. How do you even drive around with that? What kind of cup holder do you get? Like, that thing's got to be just falling over on this passenger seat floor constantly.
900-year-old people,
Ridiculous.
Donkeys that spoke Hebrew.
What does
and
this
a
have
savior
to do
baby that was
with
born
the
via
Shroud
ghost
of
sex, if you will,
Turin?
to
He
a
just said
virgin?
ghost sex.
So that the
I know. Would you pipe down? Okay, we're trying to hear about the ghost sex that Seth Andrews is talking about here. I'm sorry, not Seth Andrews, the thinking atheist. He's like, hey, sorry, I'm sorry, my bad. You know,
offspring could grow up.
Are you interested
and
in this, AP?
sacrifice himself, blood sacrifice, to rescue us from the very torture
What in the
chamber.
world? What in the
Okay.
world
It
does
sounds
that
like
have
you just
anything
want-
to do at all with the discussion about the Shroud of Turin?
Yeah, we're talking about we're talking about the Shroud of Turin and whether it's authentic, not your whining about Christianity because you're
yeah, I think he's talking about not your whining about Christianity. What about your whining about his one? You know, never mind. Hold on. Yeah, he was talking about the ghost sex, I think. Where it was like the sons of God or whatever had sex with the women of men. And you know, they had the Nephilim or whatever, or had the kids that then went on to have the Nephilim as kids. I don't know what it is. Where's Ember? She knows what I'm talking about. She set me straight on that a while ago. I can't remember. She knows everything.
Emma made you go to church. My goodness, what a dork. Not even interested. Let's see if let's see if anyone's responding. I don't even know why you. Yeah, I'm not interested in.
Compelling argument against.
He's so mad, dude. What a dork, man. Why? It should have been me. Should have been me. I should be the unqualified person on that goddamn panel. It's not fair. This is bullshit. How come Andrew Wilson gets to go on there all the time? He's a fucking idiot.
Everything you believe about the crowd, you can respond.
Absolutely. Jesus Christ, the historical record is so clear that in the 89 chapters of the gospel, they all point to that Jesus really lived, he died, and even the greatest skeptics alive of that time had experiences of seeing Jesus alive after he was dead. You can look at my book, Body of Proof, the 7 best reasons to believe in the bodily resurrection of Jesus, and you can see that I never mentioned the Shroud of Turin. Isn't that fascinating, Piers?
Not really, but okay.
I don't believe the Shroud is authentic because I want it to be. And as followers of Jesus, we don't even need the Shroud to be authentic as our best evidence.
What is happening? Why is he waving a knife around? That's a machete. A machete knife. Is it still a knife or is it like a sword at that point? I don't know.
Resurrection.
Oh, it's interesting. He's responding to what that dude said about.
What is? You're gonna cut yourself, dude. Like, I would love it if you're just like. Anyway, I know it is ridiculous. Oh my god, my right in the eye. I need to go to the. Oh, I need an. We gotta go to the eye doctor. Can you? No, David, Mr. Wood, sir. You're gonna have to take the rest of them. My eyeball is it's over there. No, I see it with my other eye. Hold on, I gotta go get it. This is wow. I think you're supposed to put it in milk, right? You put your eyeball in milk, and it'll be fine.
It's just because people really, really want to believe and they want to be connected to something. He's saying, I don't even use this as. Yeah, he's saying I don't even use this as evidence, and it's not required, and we have the evidence.
You see my Can you see her on the bed? Oh, you can. Oh, they're talking about you, Betty. Betty, say hi. Hey, can you see her? Anyway, all right. Oh, well, now she left. Good.
Atheists ruin every discussion. I'm just going to say it.
I'm not going to actually disagree with that because, you know, we can be pretty difficult when it comes to discussions. So, yeah.
But if you're a nice atheist and you're just losing your mind right now, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about all the other atheists.
I'm losing my mind, but like for totally different. It's because we're, you know, slowly frog boiling into a fascist takeover. But that's a completely different thing that we're, you know, not talking about right now.
Look, with all due respect, seriously, with all due respect, I mean, can't you come into the discussion and actually just stick to the topic instead of going down this whole path of Bible fake, sky daddy. Why?
He didn't do any of that. He was just saying how unreliable the Bible is, the thing that y'all are trying to find all these connections in, and say that it's got to be this, it's got to be that. He's got some dots on his head. Must be from the crown of thorns. Like you're just making up all of the connections you could possibly think of, for like that come from a book with a talking fucking donkey, dude. Like, really? You serious? You're like, why is he bringing this stuff up? What is even happening here? No, he's just pointing out how stupid the book, the source material is that y'all are trying to say this is evidence of. And then the irony here is that the evidence that they got is like, this was nuclear. Like, this was painted, like Jesus' face was painted through nuclear energy. And you're like, oh my God. You're like, it was a magic. His face got on there because of a magic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Something along the lines of, he argued that it's earlier than thought, and here's why he's wrong. He said this, but here's why he's wrong. Not just, oh, I really don't, me don't like Christianity, me don't like it, it's bad, it's dumb. Let me use arguments from 1970 that have already been refuted.
Y'all use arguments from the first fucking century that have been refuted. With what? Why don't you refute it, man? I swear Christians do that. Well, that argument's been refuted by a better argument. And now I'm not going to say what it is. No, but it has been refuted though, by an argument that is way better. By the way, it makes your argument sound really stupid. The refutation that somebody made. I'm not going to explain any of it.
The other lines of evidence. But what's fascinating, yeah, exactly. It's not an article of faith. And what's fascinating to me is when you look at the historical records, they stand on their own. Even atheist scholars like Garrett Ludemann said, and others say, I cannot argue with the fact that the earliest followers of Jesus were first hostile to the Christian message. They had experiences of seeing Jesus alive after he had been dead. And they say, now, what kind of experiences those were, we can't explain, but we know those experiences.
Oh, so it could have just been a thought, a dream. Is that what it is? I mean, whether the experience was something that was magical and just, you know, just or just a dream that they had at night and they thought they saw Jesus. And that's up for discussion. But they had an experience. That's for goddamn sure.
Not only changed the lives of the followers,
unbelievable,
but also changed the world forever. And again, there's such great evidence for the authenticity of the Gospels. We know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
What's up, Raymer? How we doing, dude?
Wrote the
Raymer Biggs. And so they use arguments from 3,000 years ago from the Old Testament. Yeah, no, that is a good point. I was going to say, don't talk about how old arguments are, because we're talking about the existence of God, man. Kind of had these arguments going on since humans could think, honestly. That's how long we've been having these arguments.
Lives of the followers, but also changed the world forever. And again, there's such great evidence for the authenticity of the Gospels. We know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John wrote the Gospels. We know that Paul writes 20 years before them.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious right now? Your own Bible. Just open your own. They don't read their own book. That's the problem here. if you open your Bible, even the Bible itself is like, yeah, we don't know who wrote this. It's been attributed to John or whatever through the, the fathers or whatever of the past. I don't know, the early church fathers or whatever. They attributed it to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but we don't actually know that they did that. And even the Bible is honest about that. It says it's an anonymous source that wrote those books.
The Gospels, that incredible passage that no serious historian or scholar calls into question.
1 Corinthians 15.
Corinthians 15, saying this is the gospel, that Christ died for our sins according to the scripture. He was buried and he rose again on the third day according to the scriptures. A quick note about Josephus. There's some phenomenal work being done, published by Oxford University Press, T.S. Schmidt. Josephus absolutely knew and had firsthand acquaintance with those who attended the trial of Jesus. So
this is funny. He's burning him up right here, man.
Not really. I mean, he's just lying because once he said that thing, oh no, we do know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are written. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now I can't take anything else you're saying seriously because you clearly are willing to just fucking lie. So no, I don't think what anything else he's saying now. I guess what they're talking about is the letters to Paul, letters from Paul that he wrote to different churches, and I guess he alludes to the Bible, and they're like, and the letters that Paul wrote were earlier, so there you go, there you have it. He was actually mentioned in something, and it's like, yeah, in a letter from people of that religion, and the Gospels were written later. Couldn't they have just written that? Couldn't they have just taken what that church believed? Because clearly they believed that stuff. We know because of the letters. So couldn't they have just taken the beliefs or whatever and then just written about it after the fact? I don't understand. They had that material when they wrote the Gospels, right? It's almost like when they say the Old Testament, and when they talk about the New Testament, saying stuff or whatever that fulfilled the Old Testament. It's didn't they have the Old Testament when they were writing the New Testament? So couldn't they just say that they were fulfilling shit in the New Testament? Even my 8-year-old brain knew that when I was at Sunday school. These were hundreds of years after. How could they possibly have known? Because they had the fucking book, man. What are you talking about?
Again, you have your choice. You've got to think for yourself. This is what I do at Christian Thinker Society. You've got to get beyond the sound bites. You've got to get to the substance, read these things for yourself, and you'll be amazed. Christianity doesn't need to be defended. It stands up for itself.
Wow. Yeah. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, except that y'all always have to defend it. That's on, right? If it just stands up for itself, then why the fuck does it require you guys? But what the hell are you even doing here? Why'd you write your book? You literally wrote a book called Body of Evidence, and you're like, Christianity doesn't need anybody to write books. What? Then what are you doing?
Glad he burned him up there. So for
first of all, it's called he cooked them. He cooked them. If you want to actually sound like somebody that knows what they're saying, you say he got cooked.
Atheist, if you have a commitment to
or Seth Andrews crashed out. That's the other thing you'd say.
Naturalism and so on. You don't want to accept if you don't want to accept miraculous explanations and so on. He pointed out there, it's interesting, the passage in 1 Corinthians 15, which where Paul lists an early Christian creed, refers to Jesus' death, his burial, his resurrection, and his appearances to a number of groups and individuals. It's interesting that was argued that dates to within a couple of years of Jesus' crucifixion. It was actually the atheists who were arguing that is our earliest material, and so on. So the point is, if you've heard this as, but the Gospel of Mark,
are you talking about Bart Ehrman? Because they always quote Bart Ehrman's like 2 or 3 things, whatever, that he says where it's he agrees with the Christians that Jesus existed. Like, oh, congratulations. But like he existed, so we're good. But like they always manage to not hear anything else that guy has ever said, because he says so much shit that demonstrates that their beliefs are wrong. But yeah, anyway.
70 AD, so long we don't have. Okay, we've got something that goes back to within 2 to 5 years of the crucifixion of Jesus. So that's extremely early material, and it's talking about his death, resurrection, and appearances to a number of his followers. So
a single reference in a letter that was from the Bible. Like, okay, come on, man. From people that believed this stuff or whatever. Like, this is not, there's nothing outside the Bible, man, that mentions it at all. Jesus Christ.
Explain it in terms of hallucinations or something, do that, but just don't sit there and say, oh, but you know, the Christian sources are so late, we have no idea what's going on there. Again, that's stuff. That's why we said this is stuff from like 60, 70 years ago. This has all been refuted. We know
So there's no joke. Jeremiah devotes an entire chapter in his book to his time in Oxford. Wow. And he's very proud. He's about a very proud Oxfordite. Yeah, now we're going with that.
No, for a fact, the earliest Christians were convinced Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead and appeared to them. Ask an actual scholar. Ask Bart Ehrman.
They're just okay. See, okay. I was gonna say, like, I thought that's what he was referencing anyway, because they always mention Bart Ehrman. But I, as far as I understand, like the guy in the panel there, he had mentioned somebody else too. So, but usually they mention that Bart Ehrman, had said that he existed or whatever, and that's it. And that the Gospels like stand on their own or whatever. But again, like, these are letters from Christians, and you're like, look, early Christians thought Jesus died and came back to life. So the fuck what, man? Yeah, no shit. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Jesus.
Ask Bart Ehrman if the disciples were convinced that Jesus appeared to him, risen from the dead. This guy has apparently not caught on to even what atheists, atheist scholars say.
This is why some people don't like, some atheists don't like Bart Ehrman, because he agrees with the historicity of much of what Christianity
Much of what
claims. Or
nope. You're just wrong. Much of Christianity. You mean just that the guy existed? That's not much of Christianity, dude. Like, he has so many. There's like, just go listen to his podcast. He has an entire fucking book dedicated to contradictions in the Gospels, irreconcilable inconsistencies among the different Gospels, called Jesus Interrupted. Read it. It's really good. It's not as good as Dr. Kip's book that you should also get, called God's Propaganda, but it's still good too. Jesus Interrupted is good too. You should listen to that one as well.
What Christians believe in, because he knows that it's true, because he knows that the historicity is accurate. This is why they don't like him, and kind of he's not very popular.
That's just not true.
The new atheists.
Why they humiliate him. Yeah, you had a bunch of atheists who went in the mythicist direction, and Ehrman made fun of them.
That's it. Those are the only people. Those would be the only people. And it's not that they don't like him. They just disagree with him on some stuff. And honestly, the disagreements kind of make sense. Sometimes the things that Bart Ehrman's like basing his shit off of, as far as just the historicity of the Gospels, that the Gospels stand on their own and don't need any extra biblical evidence, that they are evidence of themselves. I'm kind of like, I don't know about that one, Mr. Scholar Man. I know that you know what you're talking about better than I do, but that doesn't sound right. I feel like you need something else, but whatever.
Like, do you guys realize how stupid you sound to anyone in the scholarly world. You sound like complete idiots.
Dummy.
You had to break.
And you sound like a genius thinking that, you know, the guy that you pretend to cannibalize came back to life and flew away into the clouds. That's what smart people think.
Take that down. And then, well, we don't like you anymore. We only want to hear that we smart and we smarter than everyone else, and that Jesus was just made up. We don't like you no more.
Yeah, you guys are really mature. Yeah, you're just really making Christians sound smart right now. Just saying, it's like fucking if Beavis and Butthead became apologists and then started a podcast. That's what this sounds like. Jesus Christ. Anyway, what else we got here? Let me see. All right. I honestly don't even know. Like everything's it's just so much weird Charlie Kirk shit still going on. And then that whole fucking I don't even know what the hell it was. Calling all the generals to have a meeting that could have easily been an email. Jesus. All right, let's watch this guy. This is Buddy. Oh, Buddy Brown. That's what they call him. This is so funny. Gotta love this guy. He's so obviously just some fucking rich guy. Like he's just some rich hick, right? But he's got like his property, and he's got his truck, or he got multiple trucks, I'm sure. And he has like, I don't know, like this little 4-wheeler thing. I don't know what it is. It's like a golf cart, but like I think with the motor or something. It's for driving around his property because his property is too big. But he backwoods wisdom with Buddy Brown. It's amazing. I don't know if y'all have seen this guy before, but he is really funny. His videos are really short. That's why I typically don't cover them too often because they're too short. But here we go.
Top of the morning, y'all. Hope you're doing good. I just want to say right off the top, this ain't
Top of the morning, Ted. I was going to say right off the top of the morning when I'm coming down with that.
some kind of like hippie Bible science video or anything like that. I hate that stuff.
I hate that stuff. Hippie Bible stuff. I hate that.
This is just tailgate talk from me to you. Plus, it's a whole lot more exciting than the
Just tailgate time. Okay, I'll stop.
current news out there. Like,
What the hell is this thing though? What is this? It's like a fucking go-kart. It's like a go-kart, but it's like a Ranger. But look, he feels like he's pretending, right? This feels fake. This feels just fake. It feels like he's somebody. He's like some rich guy, right? That's like, hey, y'all, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, dude. You're never going to believe this. I'm going to pretend to be a fucking hillbilly, bro. No, yeah, I got that property out in the sticks. So yeah, I'm going to do. He's just probably some fucking liberal from California that has property somewhere and just pretends, puts on a fake accent, gets all dressed up, buys himself a Ranger go-kart, whatever the fuck this thing is, and goes records videos.
peace in Gaza. Come on. I've read the end of the book. You've read the end of the book. It don't go down like that. Keith and Nicole broke up. I mean, shocker there. So this video is sponsored by Home.
What? Who's Keith and Nicole? And why are you on a first name basis with whoever these people are? Are we supposed to know who Keith and Nicole is? Hey, what's up, Dave Murphy? How we doing? What's up?
Title lock, and I want to tell you about them real quick. Criminals are forging a signature on one document using a fake notary stamp. They pay a small fee with your county, and just like that, your home title lock has been transferred out of your name. Then they're going to take out loans using your equity, and they're going to sell your property, and you ain't even going to know what happened. So go to HometitleLock.com. You're going to get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. So don't be a victim. Go to HometitleLock.com/Buddy Brown. Use code BUDDY.
You just need to. No, you don't need to get any of this stuff. That's what a person with a victim mentality does. Okay, goes and gets this stuff so that they can't just be hacked like a grown-up, okay? And deal with it like a man, all right? Quit being such a bitch.
And you're going to get a free history report. The link is going to be below. All right, so anybody who is a believer,
It's this guy. That's Buddy Brown. It's like Dave's like, who the fuck is a Buddy Brown? What even is a Buddy Brown? It's like, that Buddy the elf. We like that Buddy. This is the fake hillbilly guy that's pretending to be a hillbilly so he can make YouTube videos for idiots.
really should pay attention to this because the scientists are paying attention to it and they can't explain it, but the Bible does. Did y'all know that Earth has a heartbeat?
Pretty sure. No. I think you need to listen to the scientists a little bit more. Like, I feel like you need to get in there a bit better with your listening ears. Okay, you need to put these on and listen up. It doesn't have a heartbeat. Okay,
That's right. Earth has a heartbeat, and it actually sounds like a hum. Just funny, the cicadas just kicked up right as I said that. But this hum is known as the Schumann resonance. A lot of y'all have been studying this because it's real interesting stuff.
The Earth has a heart that sounds like a hum. It has a hum heart.
It was named after a guy named Winfried Schumann, a German physicist. And basically, it's just a set of low-frequency oscillations in the Earth's magnetic field. But
no heartbeat, not a heartbeat. Given that, thank you. You read my mind, dude. I said you got to have a heart to have a heartbeat. Same sort of problem with the heartbeat bill. No heart yet, just a electrical pulse. But they're like, it's a heartbeat. It will be at some point, maybe. If she doesn't get hit by a bus or something, but it might at some point maybe become a heart that will eventually start beating. So we got to take rights away from women.
Lately, the Earth's frequency has been changing big time. It's been changing faster than Lane Kiffin's daughter changes boyfriends, which is fast. And the whole world has been kind of thrown into a frenzy.
Who the fuck are these people he's talking about? Who's he just throwing names of people out here? Like he's just like these fucking country people that like country people know about? Is this fucking reality TV? What is this? Jesus.
Over this, and it feels like pandemonium. Well, there's a reason. So listen to this, y'all. Ever since they have been measuring the Schumann resonance, the frequency, it's been registered at 7.83 hertz as a baseline. That's just what we're going to call normal. But recently, it's been spiking up to 30, 40, or even 90 hertz in bursts.
Holy shit.
That's pretty wild. Now, if you remember Tesla,
that's crazy, man. I have no idea the context here.
Tesla himself said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, you just have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. He also said that our entire biological system and the Earth work on the same frequency. Yeah, you'd think some big changes would come with that, right? I mean, how your sleeping pattern's been in the last few years? How's everybody's mental state in the last few years? How is your immune system? Now, I know this is just
the immune system is affected by the Earth's magnetic heartbeat.
Okay, but you got to remember, I see everything through Scripture, and I hope y'all do as well. And when you do that, it takes a very interesting turn, because when I
look at everything through Scripture. That's why I pretend to cannibalize a guy every Sunday.
To Romans 8:22, it says the whole creation, or Earth, right, is groaning.
Well, if Nikola Tesla said it, got to be awesome and true.
For the Lord's return. Y'all starting to see where I'm going with this? Because a groan is a noise, ain't it? You know that.
Wow.
All the men out there whose wives have had babies, as you're getting closer to that baby actually being here.
They make noises. They do. A lot of this going on, and you're like, and they really don't like that. Once if you start, you put your finger on their lips, and they well, then they start doing this even more and more furiously, actually. And they even get animated with their hands about it and stuff. That's why I don't do that anymore to pregnant women.
Those groans get quieter or louder? Louder, obviously. So that would make perfect sense that the Lord's return is close, and it backs up everything that we already know.
No, don't say make it sense. No, doesn't make sense. That's goddamn, dude. Like, they're just like, I heard a word that's kind of similar, and it's kind of makes sense. This, if you think about it, groans are noises. In fact, there's a frequency. frequency of the what? Noises. That's right. Like the groans, like what they were saying in the book with the talking donkey. That's right. It's got to be true because of the thing I was just saying.
In our hearts and our spirits, the earth is groaning for the Lord's return. This place is cursed. This place is sick. This place is hurting. The earth longs for the Creator to come heal everything. Do y'all remember when Jesus was up on the Mount of Olives in Luke 19, and he was up there, and a lot of great stuff had happened. There'd been some miracles take place. A lot of amazing supernatural things were going down around Jesus himself in his ministry as they're walking through. And they're to a point where the disciples are literally praising God, and they're thanking, they're just crying out, and they're just kind of going to a worship service.
Are they groaning? They're crying out, groaning.
And all of a sudden, the Pharisees look at Jesus and they say, Jesus, you need to rebuke your disciples for doing this. And you remember what Jesus' answer is? If I tell them to be quiet, even the rocks will cry out. That tells me that God literally gave everything energy, and his glory ain't going to be denied. And if it's got to even come through rocks because people are quiet.
I was just like, what? I always picture at that part in the Bible, you know, if they did actually be like, okay, well, they're going to start like being quiet. And then all of a sudden, you know how like kids cry and that weird, they like do that. Like it rises. I just picture just one rock starting out and then like another, and it just like builds up. It's like a bunch of rocks crying like little children.
His glory is still not going to be denied. Look at all the earthquakes, y'all. Look at all the volcanoes happening now, y'all. If you read Matthew chapter 24, you're going to read about a time down here on earth where I believe the Schumann resonance could spike over 500. Who knows? Because she's going to be in a fit of rage. And
it's just numbers at that point, okay? It could be 7 million. I don't know.
Total chaos because of the labor pains and the birth and pains that the Bible talks about. Go read it. Matthew 24.
Go read it. Okay. It talks about a little horn that eats up all the other horns, and that's the Antichrist or something.
You tell me if Matthew 24 sounds like a normal time on earth to you, because it sounds like absolute pandemonium to me. I hope this video, if anything, just makes you recheck how your foundation looks, because it ain't about your bank account or your corner office, ain't it? You know, the grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God stands forever. So let's stand on it. God bless you and your family. Be good.
Dude, did you just go cross-eyed at the end? Looked like you went like totally like hold on.
Account or your corner office, ain't it? You know, the grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God stands forever. So let's stand on it. God bless you and your family. Be good.
I don't know. He looked like I don't know. He looked weird. Anyway. Jesus Christ. I want can you give me like country, but like with what's that Mormon rock group? Fuck, what are they called? Kings of Leon. No, that's not them. What's the make me a believer. What is that band called? You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, that guy's crazy. Where are we at here? Yeah, so much political shit. I'm kind of tired of political shit, gonna be honest. It's a lot of the same thing over and over, you know? It's just fucking Republicans being nuts and gaslighting everybody, being like the most insensitive pieces of shit. And then as soon as one of their fucking weirdos die, they're like, you're being insensitive. Like, are you fucking really, man? Like, you were making fun of George Floyd, you know, who wasn't a political person that put himself out there on purpose, you know, to be in front of everybody and go, hey, I'm going to say a bunch of like crazy shit or like inflammatory shit, no matter what you believe. Like, and then, you know, he passed away, whatever. Like, no, he was just a guy. He was just a guy, you know, that did not want to be the center of a fucking attention of the entire goddamn country. And, you know, a bunch of conservatives like made fun of him, called him a thug, said he was on drugs and stuff. Like, no, he just happened to die of an OD the second that the knee was on his neck. It was crazy coincidence, honestly. I know it's just wild. I don't And no, the fuck he wasn't, man. Like, holy shit. You clearly never seen anybody on fentanyl. It's like these is how stupid conservatives are. Like, he was on fentanyl. He was. Yeah, he was. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. That's how he died right there. And it's like, clearly you've never seen any, like, you'd have been, and like the other videos are like, look, there's other videos that show him like breaking out and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that just demonstrates how not on fucking fentanyl he was. When you're on fentanyl, you'd be happy to not breathe. You know, you'd be like, oh no, it's cool. I'm actually gonna take a nap. Could you like, could you remove a little bit more oxygen? Yeah, there we go, right there. Okay, I'm good. Oh, this feels good. Yeah, and I'm dead. Like that's, you know, that's how fentanyl works. It's not, holy shit, how fucking stupid are these people? Anyway, what are we talking about? The truth about consent in morality. What? That could be interesting. I'm actually kind of curious about their take on consent. It's something that I didn't learn about in my homeschooling, which is interesting, you know, because they were just like, don't have sex ever. All sex, basically murder. Okay. You don't do it. Right. And so if it's all basically murder, then, you know, there's no good and bad ways to do it because they're all bad ways to do it, which means consent. Why do we even need to bring that up?
If two people consent to doing something, does that make it automatically good or moral? Or is there a higher form of consent that
I don't like your tone. Okay. I feel like your tone is trying to communicate something here, buddy.
You have to look to? Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Dad?
James, I think this is a really important conversation because we look at consensual permission as all we need to do anything, especially if you're two adults. You know, you can't really talk about, you know, the consent of children because they're not of age to really make the kind of wise, responsible decisions and understand how it impacts their life. But essentially, two adults can engage in all kinds of activity, even creepy, weird stuff that, you know, is like self-destructive. But in some countries, it's perfectly legal to do it as long as you have consent. So where are you going with this?
So this topic...
So where are you going with this? Okay, because it almost sounds like you're saying that you were going to talk about dominatrix stuff. Okay, and I hope that we are. And if you want to do some dominatrix stuff, well, then you should with the products from adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter that code word Brentley. That's Brentley at checkout and get your butt some stuff. Okay. That was my ad break.
Raised in my mind because of a sermon from John MacArthur that I was watching.
Johnny Mac is the bomb.
He is
the OG Bible teacher.
Stop using word like. Oh my God, he was some fucking old guy. And you're like, oh gee, Johnny Mac. Shut the fuck up.
In this sermon, John MacArthur was saying that sin isn't just doing something that is wrong, but it's taking something that doesn't belong to you.
What's up, No Heroes? How we doing, dude?
That you have no right to. It is not yours to take.
Yeah.
And by that, you are overreaching God and getting rid of his plan and his path.
He looks unbelievably confused. Jesus, that is so funny.
Try to impose your will on something that you want in the moment right now.
That is such a perfect picture of what Adam did in the garden. He took something that was not his to take, and he was overreaching God's perfect plan, thinking that...
But you could see how it could get confused, right? Like, given that God was like, all of this is yours, since it's your garden and you're the first person to exist ever. But don't eat that one thing. Just don't do it. Okay. Because then you'll know what wrongness is. and you're not supposed to know that.
He had a better one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so that statement,
Awesome.
obviously, it made my mind just spin. And I was thinking about all the different aspects of life and all of the different types of sin that there are. But it really made me think of relationships. And then it led into the idea.
What's up, Mike? How you doing? Mike said, old people are the ones who would use OG as its term for 30 years ago. It's like, okay, you know what? God damn it, bucko. Look, listen here. I am an OG. Okay, I'm an OGP, right? Old gangster punk. Never mind, doesn't work. There's two different subcultures there. It's just
of consent in a relationship.
Forget it.
I think so many times we think of consent as being almost horizontal. It's between.
I actually do think of it more as being vertical. Consent. I mean, think about consent right now. Right? No, I don't think so. Right? Yeah.
Me and the person I'm in the relationship with, if we both agree that this thing is acceptable and we both have a desire to do this thing, it almost in today's culture makes it seem as though it is good or it is okay.
Yeah.
It's permissible.
That's right.
Because of the idea of consent.
That's right.
But through reading the Bible, understanding the depravity of man's heart.
We don't give a shit about consent. When you read the Bible says that you can own other humans as property. And you think those people consented to that shit? No, they didn't. But we don't give a fuck about consent because we're Christians. All right. We only care about what we subjectively interpret our God to want everybody to behave like, and then we just say that's objective.
Along with experiencing the depravity within my heart, seeing the depravity within other people's hearts, also comes with the recognition that people make bad decisions. People are broken. People do things that they shouldn't do.
And they give consent.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are broken. What the fuck are you talking about? No, they're not. Like, what? Just all people in general broken. Why? What the hell? It's that kind of mentality. Like this. That's what leads to like so many problems. Right there. It's just that's the type of shit that'll make you like lead you down the road to being like a drug addict and shit. You know, because you're just like everybody's broken. I'm broken. I'm garbage. I'm trash. Why even try? I'm trash. I just, there's no point in even doing good stuff because I'm not worth it. I'm trash. I should just lay down and not do it. Like that's because, and it all plays into their breaking of the spirit to then build you up to be what they want you to be. And that's why you'll always hear them say stuff like, oh, I want to be less of me and more of you, which is just one of the most disturbing things I hear Christians say, because it's so fucking clear that it's like that this is blatant manipulation. This is blatant, like, don't be you. You are bad. You are toxic. You should be who I say you should be. Because let's be real, it's not a fucking God that's telling people to be a certain thing. It's a person that's claiming to know what the God needs this other person to be. And they're like, you need to stop being you. You need to be who I say you are. Jesus Christ.
Where they shouldn't be giving consent.
Yeah. So the idea of horizontal consent, me between you, if we both say it's right and wrong, has a lot of room for error because we are full of error. We are full of depravity and bad decision making.
Can you explain like why at all? You're just making the claims. Like you're just like, and horizontal. It's just so weird. Yeah, like and horizontally, immorality. Clearly, I think what he's trying to say, honestly, is more like because I've heard people say like horizontal morality versus vertical morality, which is like vertical morality is like top down. Which is just whatever they say, somebody else says, that somebody else says, somebody says from the top. And that's how we decide what is right and what is wrong. When really, and obviously this is why they love authoritarians so much. But obviously, like, morality comes a lot more like reasonably from how people behave as far as like your interaction as humans with one another, and that would be like where consent and stuff would come into, and that's why like respecting people's consent is such a better way. Like even just that baseline of just respecting people's consent is so much more of a basis for morality than any like top down shit, because you're just always going to be claiming that it's top down from your thing, that what the man upstairs wants everybody to behave like, whatever, but it's still just you. It's still just you saying that what the higher up says, and you're just, because it's all fucking made up. There is no man up there, dude. It's just you claiming that there's a man up there.
So instead, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking the idea of consent should be, yes, consensual between horizontally, but also vertically.
Ooh, that's deep. Tell me more.
Well, it comes into the...
Oh God, can we clip that? I want that. Ooh, that's deep. Like clipped, and then I can use that for my AdamandEve.com ads.
And I was thinking the idea of consent should be, yes, consensual between horizontally, but also vertically.
Also,
ooh, that's deep. Tell me more.
One more time. I'm sorry. I got it.
So instead, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking the idea of consent should be, yes, consensual between horizontally, but also vertically.
Ooh, that's deep. Tell me more.
Well,
okay, I'm sorry. That was it. That was the last.
It comes into the idea of, is this something that I am trying to forcibly take because I want this in the moment, or is this a gift that is being given to me?
I mean, well, we got one. No, I got one now. They added them. They just added them to here. Look, they added them to StreamYard, but I gotta actually go in and get the sound, which means I need to remember like where we're at in this live stream so that I can get it and stuff. Damn, where to go? Oh, here we go. Why is the applause so short? That is really strange. I felt like the applause was too short. Oh, well, you know what? Fuck you guys. Serious. And that's it. No more show. No more show. We're just done. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. But I do have a soundboard. It's my point. That was the purpose of all that.
By God, right now, do I have consent to partake in this thing, or is it something that I'm just trying to pick off of the tree when it's not ripe yet?
James, this is so important, man.
So important. Oh my God, James. Wow, come here, buddy. Wow. Give your old man a hug.
Like you said, this can apply to so many different areas in our life where we're taking things. We think of relationally, right? Like, do I have this person's consent? If I don't have their consent, well, then it's an act of violence. But if I have their consent, that means it's okay. Mm-hmm. Well, no, not necessarily.
What?
And especially when we get into the area of sexual integrity.
Why not? Like, because look, it literally does. And I remember like Ray Comfort was like trying to act like consent couldn't work because what if somebody told you to hurt them, and I'm like, yeah, that'd still be immoral. I do it all the time. I not only consent, but I request to be hurt on purpose for sexual purposes, and if you want to be hurt on purpose for sexual purposes, just go to AdamandEve.com and do that code word Bentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, free shipping on the whole order. Go to AdamandEve.com, enter that code word Brantley, and get your butt some stuff. Like whips, can whip the butt. They got that. Like a riding crop. They have riding crops for that sort of thing. Anyway, all right, go.
With something so sacred, we have to remember
Rotting crops are sacred. Okay, seriously.
that we must have God's consent. Without
I
his
knew it.
consent,
I knew
nothing
that
is
was gonna-
okay. Our consent does not supersede God's.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I think that the Bible talks
my
about
God.
this concept, and it talks about men.
I think the Bible talks about this concept. Anyway.
And it talks about how there's a way
Yeah.
that seems right to a man, but leads to death, but God's way leads to life. And I think
Oh.
when we're talking about this idea of relationships and consent,
God, listen to how brainwashed. Like this is what. So this is why I like covering this, because like it just shows what indoctrination does to a kid's brain. Like right away. Like look how much this kid is trying so badly to say what his dad wants him to say right here, right now. And the shit that he's saying is fucking insane. None of it makes any sense. It's all completely just off the wall nonsense. And you know, he's trying, but it's like, hold on, I need to hear that again. Watch.
and it talks about how there's a way that seems right to a man, but leads to death, but God's way leads to life.
What? Fucking what? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything, dude. That's like complete nonsense. Like, there's a way that seems right to man, but that leads to death. You know, because apparently the right thing is to unalive people or something. Like, what the hell are you saying, dude? And you're like, but God's way leads to life. Fucking what? How? Like, what? Nothing you're saying is real. You're literally just repeating your script.
And I think when we're talking about this idea of relationships and consent and this whole sphere that so much of our lives revolve around these relationships, we have to take into account the depravity of who we are, that just because we have a desire does not make it right.
Yep.
From the heart flows.
Yeah, this this Kirk Cameron's good, dude. He's like, wait a second. Is this Kirk Jr.? Yep, that's Kirk Jr. right there. Listen to him go. He's like, I'm gonna be just like my dad. I'm gonna be just like my dad and say all sorts of stupid stuff, except that I will have never been on a television show that is adored by people in their 40s now. Yeah, and older, really.
Wickedness, depravity, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, sexual immorality.
That's right.
All of these things.
That's right.
So
You
just
are
because you
absolutely-
feel like you're
you were absolutely right about this, kiddo.
in love, just because you want to express that, does
Mhm.
not mean that you're in the correct season yet to fulfill that ultimate form of expression of love.
That's right.
Dude, can you like say why stuff is wrong? Just say why stuff is wrong, man. Like, because God doesn't like it is not going to cut it. Like, say why God doesn't like it, because they never have the why. They're just like, just shut up and do it. And you're like, yeah, but why is this wrong? Didn't God create us to have sex? Shut up. Don't do it. It's bad. Like, and then they'll sit there and talk about how beautiful it is that God torture murdered himself for, you know, your sins or whatever. And then act like we get all desensitized to sex, but like to torture murder, to pretend to cannibalize somebody, drinking his blood, all this violent, insane shit. That's fine. That's normal. You know, apparently drinking blood's not that big of a deal, but like talking about sex, that's something nobody should ever do. All right. That is just evil, and shut up.
Right.
And what you might be attributing as love is actually damaging the person. And you're trying to take something unknowingly
Mm-hmm.
that does not belong to you and is going to hurt this person in the future.
What? Not what? That was the most disjointed, fucking brainwashed bullshit I think I've ever heard. Hey Ryan, how's it going? What's going on there? And Brent, what's up, Brent? Doing all right? Listen to this brainwashed bullshit one more time. My God, I
Is
feel like
actually-
Ryan gets this sort of thing because, like, this is quite cultastic, if you know what I mean. Holy shit, that's a
Reason yet to fulfill that ultimate form of expression of love.
That's right.
And what you
that's right. Keep
might
going.
be attributing as love is actually damaging the person. And
you're attributing it to love, but it's actually damaging the person. That's totally, absolutely right. That's
you're
not-
trying to take something unknowingly
Mm-hmm.
that does not belong to you and
trying to take something unknowingly. I thought we were just talking about sex. What?
is going to hurt this person in the future.
Yeah. James, what you're saying is it's so essential. You're starting with the depravity of the heart. The scriptures say that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. It's human nature to be selfish. It's human nature to be prideful and to take things if we can get away with it. And if
Yeah, I know. Look at your president that you voted for and you support, and you know.
we
But
understand,
that's good. It's good when you have a certain amount of money. Then it's okay to be a piece of greedy shit.
start with that biblical way of thinking, then we can see that just because I feel like doing something doesn't make it okay. It's not just about like, well, you can do what you want and I can do what I want. No, neither one of us can do what we want. We
Jesus Christ. Kid, I said, lucky kid. He did not inherit his father's snow plow for a forehead. No, he looks like he could be a child pop star, you know, when he's not on drugs, and not you know, when he's sober and doing well.
are only permitted to do what God wants, and he gives us great freedom and liberty to do what we ought to do, but that's never freedom to do what we shouldn't be doing. And that's so
They talk in the weirdest, like everything is so like zero specifics are happening here. They're just like, they're like the freedom to do what you're not supposed to do, but that is freedom. What the fuck, man? What is right and what is wrong to you? That's what I want to know. Because I feel like they never have an answer for that. You know, you're just like, but why is it wrong? And they're like, well, because I think my God thinks it's wrong. That's like, oh, fucking shit. Well, then I guess if you think your God thinks it's right, I guess it's got to be wrong. Why is stuff wrong? Like, is it wrong if it hurts people? And they'll be like, sometimes. Depends if I don't like that person. I'm sorry, if I said if I don't like them. I meant if my God doesn't like that person, then it's okay sometimes. You know, it really depends on the person that's being hurt and why. Because sometimes, you know, beating up you know, I mean, trying to use the rod of correction on people who are sexually immoral is good.
so important because in our culture today, we often hear people saying, well, look, two consenting adults can do anything they want. That reminds me of an insane, crazy story that was back in 2003, I think. And there was this German guy out of Rottenburg, Germany. I remember the name, who actually put out
The name of the city.
ad saying that he was looking to slowly cannibalize himself and enjoy the meal together with a willing consensual participant. Someone answered the ad and they began dinner. Disgusting. So you have two consensual adults, and that was the weird.
But they didn't need that hand anyway. Okay. All right. And it did taste good. Okay. There's something liberating about eating yourself.
Of it is like, well, is there a law against cannibalism? And nothing was forcibly done. So you can't say the guy like forced him, that he offered it.
Don't you pretend to cannibalize a carpenter like all the time, dude? Like, how are you acting like you're pretending to fucking drink blood? And you're like, but this is totally crazy and wrong. The thing that we pretend to do on a weekly basis.
An ad and someone consented. What makes that morally wrong? Well, you've got to appeal to some higher standard. Say, dude, you can't eat your fingers. You can't, you know, right? You don't get to eat people. So then what is that higher standard?
Even if
people are,
even if the people so like, I actually would like to be eaten, you know, I'd always like to go down that way. You know, it sounds appetizing to me, really.
Rottenburg and the people in America should be looking to.
Yeah, and even in my own life, I've seen so many failed relationships.
They always have to bring up some weird fucking thing like that too, where it's just like, oh, but what about eating people? It's like, dude, is that going to come into the conversation often when it comes to like why stuff? What if here's the thing? What if I was like, but God wants you to eat your hand and invite a willing participant to eat yourselves? Now what do we do? Shit. It's almost like we're back at square fucking one. because if you can just say that you think you're God, I mean, your God literally did say to eat people too. Like, like I could be like, hey, God said to eat the flesh and stuff, man. Like, you know, he said, eat flesh and drink blood and shit, right? Like, because all you're doing is saying that you think your God wants you to not do that. And I could just be like, okay, well, I think that my God does want us to do that. Now what? It's just like they don't think anything through.
And just toxic relationships. And there's this common theme where I know a lot of people who have compromised on what they believe to be right and given consent to do certain things because of whether it's fear or insecurity, where I'm scared that you won't like me if I don't offer this to you. I'm scared that I won't be enough for you if I don't give you this part of me. So people,
I feel like you're not described. Like, can we get some specifics here? Are you saying? Hold on, let me go back. I hate it when they won't just say the thing. Just say the thing. Stop being such fucking prudes and just say the shit.
If I don't offer this to you, I'm scared that I won't be enough for you if I don't give you this part of me.
Okay, I don't think he's talking about sex, but then it wouldn't be consensual, dude. If somebody, that's why we have like sex pests, like rules and stuff, or not rules, but like labels, and that's a form of sexual harassment. Because it absolutely is. Like, if you're going to sit there and hound somebody and be like, but I don't know. I don't know what they say. I've never, like, but I want it, though. I just want to give you that part of me, or whatever, That is being a sex pest. That is part of, the whole conversation about consent that you clearly have never had. Because you're acting like all sex is evil anyway. So why even talk about sex? Or, why even talk about consent? Because all sex is evil unless you're married specifically. And then people like this idiot, not him, Kirk, will say that you can't grape your wife because she's your wife. She agreed, on paper, in a legal agreement to just have sex with you whenever you want, apparently.
So people have alternate motives for why they give consent. But as a man, I would say, and a woman, but us speaking as men.
You're also a woman? Is that what you're like? As a man and a woman, sometimes when I'm in my bedroom alone, I have some secret panties that I put on. I like the silk on my skin. Okay, and I paint my nails. And I have a wig that I wear, and I feel pretty, and I like it. It's nice, But but as a man, right now, we're talking about as a man, all right? Because that's what we are currently.
Our main allegiance and our highest form of consent.
You see him like notice too. He's like, okay, man. God, this kid is so stupid. He totally messed up and said that he was a woman too. God damn it. Come on, man.
Consent should come from.
We are incapable of editing this show. You know that. Don't say you're a woman.
What God says in his word. What God says in our
they
hearts.
want to own women. Basically, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yep. Which is this a gift that I am giving to you? Or is this something that you are just wanting due to your flesh?
Yeah.
And the question becomes, what will you do as the man? Will you take it for yourself? Or will you appeal to the higher power of God? And I think once you have this mindset, it creates in you.
What the fuck is happening? Maybe I was talking too much throughout that whole thing. It's possible because I do that. I have a problem with that, actually. Without even considering the consent of the video I'm watching, I just traipse all over it and talk.
What God says in our hearts.
Yep.
Which is this a gift that I am giving to you? Or is this something?
I'm going to go back earlier.
Main allegiance, give consent. that I won't be enough for you if I don't give you this part of me.
I won't be enough for you if I don't give this part of me. And that means it sounds like they're talking about, or it sounds like he's talking about sex. Like, oh, I won't be enough if I don't let you have sex with me, which is, you know, probably something that this kid hears a lot in conversation, because that's the way guys talk when they're teenagers a lot of time. You know, I just want you to give all of yourself to me, you know, and I think that we're ready or whatever.
So people have alternate motives for why they give consent. But as a man, I would say, and a woman, but us speaking as men.
Another clip we need to say. As a man and a woman, but we're speaking as men right now. I'm gender fluid. You know,
our main allegiance and our highest form of consent should come from what God says in his word, what God says in our heart.
He looks like he's like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. What the fuck? Why did he? Okay, I can bring this home. I can bring this. I can fix this. I'm going to say some words, and it's going to make all of that not sound as stupid as what he just said. Okay, well, we're gonna fix this together, buddy.
Yep.
Which is this a gift that I am giving to you?
Hey, Anarchic Fox, how we doing, dude? What's up?
Or is this something?
He looks so pissed. He looks pissed. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Did we discuss this? Did we discuss you talking about this stupid shit? I don't think we did. I thought we discussed you talking about Jesus. And you haven't mentioned Jesus once. You're talking about consent and shit. What are you even doing?
That you are just wanting due to your flesh.
Yeah.
And the question becomes, what will you do?
I'm sorry. Well, look at his face.
As the man. Will you take it for yourself? Or will you appeal to the higher power of God? And I think once you have this mindset, it creates in you
a clean heart,
grateful heart. In my mind, once again, I think in pictures. So,
hey, Tsunami, how we doing? What's going on? Yes, it's Kirk Cameron. That's right. The other Kirk that, we're not tired of talking about right now. Damn it.
I think of a massive chalice on my left, and I think of a shot glass on my right.
Everything's Kirk.
The chalice on the left is the man who expects all of these different things in the relationship. I expect to have this part of you that doesn't belong to me. All of my friends do, so should I. And due to the man's expectation of
this sounds like it is so like he's trying to not say the thing. All my friends have had sex and I haven't. And my girlfriend is like, no. And I'm like, look, dude, all my other friends have had this part of their girlfriends. What's your problem? Okay, I just want to express myself. Okay, I just want to express myself sexually all over you.
These things, his cup is never satisfied. It's never full. This massive chalice. There's always room to have more. And due to that, that cup,
my massive chalice is just full of cup. I mean,
never overflows unto others. But then you have the man on the right, and he has a shot glass, and his cup is easily filled because he expects little and is grateful for the much that is given to him. So his cup is continuously overflowing unto others, while the man on the left in his chalice is never satisfied.
James,
if we can start thinking of
this is amazing
good things,
do the chalice part again. That was so good. It's beautiful. It's like
given to us in the right time by God as a gift instead of trying to forcibly take.
The innuendo is just crazy. It's like overflowing. It just, it's just filled the chalice. This giant throbbing chalice is full of Jesus' love.
What we think we ought to have. Our mindset goes from entitlement to gratitude And gratitude leads to joy.
Why is Kirk moaning? Oh, this is so good. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. Oh, say it again. Say it again. Do it again. Say it.
Peace, contentment in who we are, what we have, and gives us a spirit that is willing
Broke back art.
and excited to give to others.
James, this fits exactly with what I've been studying in Psalm 23. The most
It fits exactly in the
famous passage in the whole Bible, the 23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. But I've been studying it in the New Living Translation, which gives fresh insights to me. And it leads to the chalice versus the little shot glass that you talked about. It goes like this: the Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. I should not have these expectations and this attitude of entitlement. Like you said, I have all that I need because the Lord is.
It's called non-attachment. And it's a Buddhist thing that was like long before any of the bullshit you're talking about. But
Is my shepherd.
It's fine.
And then it goes on to say, you let me lie down in green meadows and you lead me beside peaceful streams. And then it says,
I feel like we should let Bentley have some alone time. That's right. God damn it. That's, I work hard. Okay. And I deserve it. I deserve some throbbing chalice fun. Okay. Here and there.
protect me. You prepare a feast in the presence of my enemies. And then it says, my cup of blessing overflows. That's the
My cup of blessing overflows.
little shot glass. That's exactly what you're saying, is exactly the attitude and mindset that God wants us to have.
Yep. And I think it's so much more than just relationships, this mindset that it encompasses, because once you have this grateful mindset instead of an entitled mindset, that affects not only your relationships.
What's so crazy is that given like the political spectrum, whatever, like, or just the political beliefs of these people, they're the most unsatisfied, spoiled fucking babies ever. And they're just like, everybody else should shut up and stop asking for the stuff that they need or whatever. And everybody's like, else is fucking babies. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. But if we can't literally be pieces of shit to other people, well, then that's not fair to us. That's like their politics. And yet they will sit here and go, but the chalice and the shot glass. Shut the fuck up, man. Like, y'all are like in a goddamn cult with a fucking psycho billionaire baby who's like, calling generals fat and shit. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Seriously.
With the people that you love, but also your willingness to give to others. If you're grateful for every cent that you have coming into your bank account because you know that you are not entitled to that, how much more willing?
How do you support a billionaire, dude? Like, I don't understand this. Like, their whole thing is just give the people with way too much some more. The people with nothing, fuck them. They don't deserve shit. Okay? They need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. But the people that have too much, we need to give them some more.
Will you be to give the excess to others?
That's right.
So if you're looking at your cup,
oh my God, fuck
as
you.
a quarter full because it's a massive cup, then you're probably going to hoard all of that wealth.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at your shot glass, which has
How do
the
they
couple
do that?
pennies that it needs, but it's overflowing
How
with
do they-
others, you'll be so much more willing to give those others away.
Yeah.
How are they this ironic when it comes to their politics? Dude? Like, I don't understand this at all. It's so fucking weird when they sit here and act like being a rich, spoiled brat is so bad, yet that's what they think like all the evil poor people are doing and stuff. But like, then they support Trump, who's just a fucking crybaby billionaire, spoiled brat bitch that's never had to fucking actually do anything in his goddamn life.
James, this is so important. If you're watching this and you struggle with disappointment, people constantly
I
disappointed.
do struggle with disappointment. I'm disappointed in humans, just humanity in general. I struggle with being disappointed. about how do you struggle with being disappointed? Like, I don't feel like, I don't think you could struggle with that. You know, you're just disappointed sometimes.
Your expectations are probably too high. If you are frustrated with God,
Yeah, it's not attachment. I do the Buddhist stuff, so you know, I meditate too. Yeah, I practice non-attachment.
for not coming through on the requests that you have been making through your prayers, your expectations are probably not aligning with the reality of what God actually wants to give you. So bring your expectations down and realize that you and I deserve nothing.
Just realize that we deserve nothing. Wow. Okay. No wonder they show up in the politics that they do. Jesus Christ. We deserve nothing. Okay. Again, the people that have too much now, they deserve more than the too much they've already got. But we deserve fucking nothing.
That everything is gravy. Everything is grace. Everything is a gift. What do I actually deserve from God? You know what I can expect 100%? Because of my sin, all I can expect is his wrath.
Psycho billionaire baby. That's pretty good, actually, dude. John's on to something here. Psycho Billionaire Babies. It's a great punk band name. That is actually pretty good.
And his judgment. That's actually what I deserve.
Oh, shit. I forgot. Damn. I was going to react to a Guar video. And or I was going to read a story and react to a Guar video. We'll do it next time. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow, right? Because I'll be back tomorrow. And I will be back this time. I had stuff I had to work on yesterday at the last second. So sorry about that. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow, and we'll start with the Guar thing. That's what we'll do. We'll start out with that, and I won't spoil it. But it's funny. It's funny. It's good stuff.
Not to have the cup of my wants filled. And so if I actually get in line,
and if you want to be filled with semen, go to adamandeve.com, and that can either be, you know, men that, you know, like that are at sea, right, or the semi-liquid stuff. Either way, you know, if you want to be filled with them, or it, go to adamandeve.com, enter code word friendly. That's BRENTLY at checkout, and get your butt some stuff and stuff your butt. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, that was perfect. That really worked.
With what I really deserve, all of a sudden my cup is overflowing with blessings. And if I'm a Christian, if I'm saved, then I have a shepherd who's making sure that I have all that I need.
And if you want a shepherd that's just overflowing with everything you need in your butt, go to Adam. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. It feels like they're doing this on purpose, right? They're like, I feel like pretty soon Kirk's going to look over and wink. Do the ad, Brentley. Do the ad.
And then every tiny bit of affection from your spouse, that's a gift. We all have responsibilities, but we can't demand it from anybody. The only one who can demand things from us or from our spouse or someone we're in a relationship with is God.
God
for you and me.
Things. And it's, you know, and it's you that explains to somebody else that it's God, not you, that is demanding that they do whatever it is that you actually want them to do.
Their obedience to God is an undeserved gift to us. So if we see things that way, all of a sudden, like,
that makes so what?
Like you said, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I'm content, I'm grateful, and I'm joyful for anything that I get, and my cup is overflowing.
Yeah, and I think that two people in a relationship, both having that God,
it's like, and cut a big chunk out. That was it. No, and my cup is overflowing with fluids just falling out. And can we cut that? Let's cut that whole section out.
God first mindset? Do I have consent from God first before you? Will be fulfilling their roles and their duties diligently to each other.
Let's not talk about duties when we're talking about sex stuff. I feel like, even though some people are into that, I'm not.
Both giving, both receiving.
And both grateful.
Yeah.
Back to this idea of thinking that as long as something is consensual and two people give consent to doing something, that makes it okay or morally good. Not the case.
No.
We can find,
Which is why we traipse over people's consent all the time when it comes to access to vaccines and healthcare and just anything else that people not only consent but need. We say, fuck you. We don't actually care even about basic consent, because what if somebody wants you to eat them? Yeah, that's why consent just doesn't work as a concept for morality. Anyway, let me tell you about the undead carpenter ghost that I think lives inside my heart that I pretend to cannibalize, and said that it's okay to own other humans as property and you can beat them and everything and all that type of stuff. That's why we don't really care about consent around here, okay? Because of the eating each other thing.
stories all throughout the scriptures. King David, Bathsheba, if they both were consenting to that illegitimate encounter, did it make it okay and morally good? No, of course not.
Who the fuck decides what's legitimate?
That was part of David's downfall, that's called adultery. And in our culture today, our moral standard of the Bible has been ejected from common culture.
I feel like that still counts though. Like, because if you're having, because when it comes to adultery, and if we do have consent kind of as the basis, right? We would consider the consent of like the other person in the relationship. If you're dishonest with somebody and cheat on somebody, that literally is hurting somebody, that's like betraying someone's trust. I feel like that goes against their consent. I know it's like different, but like I'm just saying, like consent is like the basis of morality, right? And it is a good basis for that. You know what I mean? Like if you're in, I don't know, an elementary school, right? And you teach the kids about consent, and you're like, hey, people shouldn't treat people the way that they don't consent to be treated. That's a pretty good bait. Like you're actually going to get some, if the kids follow it, obviously, you're going to get some good behavior out of like 90% of those kids, right? But if they follow it and everything, because that's a pretty good basis. But if you're just like, hey, you got to do whatever somebody subjectively thinks their God wants everybody to behave like, and that kids, like that's the basis of like right and wrong. It's gonna be fucking pandemonium. Like everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, it's like gonna be like, well, laser eyes though, but laser eyes, I win. Like it's just gonna be kids like making shit up because there is no God, and it's just whatever somebody thinks their God wants, and and that couldn't go badly, right? When it comes to like right and wrong as that is the basis.
What if two men give consent to be in a romantic relationship and get married? Does that make it okay? Well, the Supreme Court says so. Yes. Same thing with
this Supreme Court.
Two women.
I don't think this Supreme Court has said that's okay.
There are other groups that say they have members that consent to doing bizarre and dangerous things that they want to be okay too, based simply on the idea that if we give consent, therefore it's okay. And clearly,
again, whip marks and bruises on my back. And I love that some people are cool with my consent to be hurt on purpose for sexual reasons.
Those things are never okay. So this is really, really important. Just because two adults say so, that doesn't make something okay in the eyes of God. Just because something's
in the eyes of God. Yeah. Okay. Way to make nobody give a shit all of a sudden. Like, oh, in the eyes of the magic made up thing that you say so that you can control other people, because you even say that people's consent doesn't even matter as long as it's against what you think your God wants people to act like.
Legal doesn't mean it's not sinful. And just because something's not illegal doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it, because we know
According to
there
what?
is a higher
According to what?
standard
Who's a higher standard? Yours?
of consent. There is a higher law, and it's a perfect
That's
moral.
That's against my God's consent. Okay. Jesus Christ. You're basically graping God right now, bro. Okay. Do you want to be a God grapist? I didn't think so. Okay. Well, stop. I fucking that magazine that is designed for you to do that.
Standard, and it's called the law of God.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that
The law of God is actually a pretty good. That would be a metal. I was going to say a punk band, but the law of God. That's pretty. I feel like that'd be pretty metal. Be like a Lamb of God. Like they open up for Lamb of God. There's Lamb of God, and then law of God opens up for him.
nobody wants to actually live in a world where the idea of consent is the ultimate authority to which people abide by.
Yeah.
I absolutely would want to live in that fucking world. I would much rather want to live in that world than live in the world you're talking about. God damn it. Kevin, can you take care? Can you, I don't know, just see who's at the door or whatever. Anyway, I would much rather that world than one where people just get to randomly say that they can remove rights from other people because the magic that actually determines what is right and wrong said it's cool. No, I'd much rather people that 100% base their society off of fucking consent than whatever the fuck that is.
Nobody wants to live in that.
Nobody does.
Women don't want to live
Everybody.
in that. Children don't want to live.
Everybody would rather live in that, man. Like you're like women would rather live in that. You're literally letting women bleed out in a fucking hospital, like waiting room floor, because you have some kind of philosophy about when life begins. Go fuck yourself.
Live in that. Men don't want to live in that. Nobody does. There has to be a higher standard of morality in which an objective morality in which we follow.
Cool. Demonstrate it. Demonstrate that it's actually a higher standard of morality and that it's actually objective. And maybe somebody might give a fuck.
And the only way that that is possible is if we believe in what is right and wrong according to God's word.
That's right. I also think
It only works as long as we all believe in what I think is objectively right. Yeah.
of how this plays out in false religion and cults. You have essentially
Don't bring up cults now, man. Like I feel like you're just going to hurt your case at this point.
to a consensual relationship between the cult leader and the congregants. They're both consenting to this set of ideas that in Jim Jones's case led to this mass suicide thing. It was clearly awful, terrible. It was wrong.
And how did, what was the mechanism he used in order to convince everybody that it's cool to be terrible to everybody? Was it that his interpretation of what God wanted everybody to behave like was the right way or not? No, yeah, that was it. That's right. That's right. That's how they manipulated everybody by saying that. You're like, oh no, but I hear from fucking God though. That's why consent doesn't actually matter. Do you think that they actually consented to that shit? Or they were brainwashed by somebody claiming to hear from fucking God?
But it was consensual. So what makes
Jesus,
it
you're
actually
stupid.
wrong? And
It's like-
that then connects to relationships between two individuals. When there is manipulation going on by one of the parties who's maybe charismatic, like that
Yeah,
cult
that's
leader, and is able
That's a
to
good point. What's it? Regios said that he probably thinks that coerced consent is the same thing as informed consent, which that's sort of right. You're absolutely right. Like that's not there's no longer real consent because you've been manipulated into it. If there's manipulation, if there's like a power structure in play, then it's not actual consent. And this is why, people like fucking Kirk and his little ghetto here need to learn about consent, because clearly he doesn't know like what it actually means, because he's never actually learned about it, because he's found that just some dude being like, "Nah, consent doesn't matter. What I think God wants everybody to behave like, that's what fucking matters." And he's like, "Yeah, consent, I don't, that doesn't matter. I should just go with whatever he says that he thinks God is saying."
To play on somebody's insecurities or their ignorance and get them to consent to things that are not good for them, does that make it okay in the relationship for a man to manipulate and achieve consent from a woman?
That's not the same.
Just because he happens to be charismatic, and you can't blame him because she gave consent.
You're so much more describing religion. You're like so much more describing that, man. Like you're literally describing how like religious leaders and stuff will get people to put their consent aside to be manipulated into whatever you want them to do, and then you'll sit there and go, "Oh well, I'll just ask forgiveness later," Jesus Christ. I mean, because this goes back to like what children. This is why we have to say like children can't consent. They're not old enough to consent. It's like, well, I wonder if he's like, "No, see, this is the problem with secular morality. That's why all those priests do all that stuff to those kids and everything, because, and those kids consent because they manipulate them into it." It's like, you so don't understand anything you're fucking saying.
Yeah. So if you're watching this right now, I think it's good to just ask yourself, is this thing that I want a gift from God in the correct season? Or
I'm good. I don't think I'm going to ask that.
Or is it something that I'm trying to forcibly take due to my own desires for it?
That's right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Also, maybe ask yourself this question. Is this thing I'm giving consent to, I'm consenting to?
Why don't you just say sex? Why don't you just like say that it's sex, and we're going to have that conversation? Because this whole fucking like nodding and winking at it is fucking weird.
Engage in this kind of behavior with my partner, even if this is a person that I love with all of my heart. Are you giving that consent because God has given you consent?
What?
To give a gift that is really meant to be reserved for later or for someone else. Maybe it's not the right time. And why are you giving consent and violating your own convictions?
Who gets to decide what time is right? That's what I want to know. Like who according to who, It's like your God, right? But it's what you say your God, it's time is, or whatever.
Is it out of fear that you might lose the relationship? God is your shepherd. You have everything that you need.
God does not get invited to my inner thoughts. Okay, that's reserved just for the spirit of Crowley, Ulysses Crowley. Well, he's quite animated, and he's kind of funny to listen to in my head. So I let him stay. And Ozzy Osbourne, mainly just because he wrote the song about him. So I figured they'd want to meet, and they can. My head's as good a place as any.
He's going to lead you along right paths. He'll never let you down. What if you didn't have to walk through life alone? So many men
drive red trucks. You won't be alone if you drive a red truck. Everybody loves them. Everybody loves those trucks. You know why? They're red. That's why. Get some red truck men, okay? And have sex with them. And then get the products from adamandeve.com and use those products whilst having sex with men in those red trucks. That's right. Go to adamandeve.com. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Kevin, you got to stop me when I start doing stuff like that. Yeah, well, no, because that was embarrassing. Well, at least cut it out afterwards. Okay, well, edit it out of this. All right, just okay. Anyway, go to adamandeve.com, and we'll figure out a better segue. Yeah, I'll say something about Trump's dick. No, not that either. No, we'll figure something out. It's fine. Go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter that code word Brentley. That's BRENTLY at checkout. And get your butt some stuff and stuff your butt full of Adam and Eve toys. That's right.
Experience deep loneliness. But what
Deep. He said deep, right there. I should have waited for the deep. And then that would have been the segue, is the deep, right? It's like half a second more. Come on, man. What are you doing? Just wait.
if there was a place where you, a man, could stand shoulder to shoulder with other men?
Okay, now we're going to keep going.
Fight for truth, challenge one another to grow, and live in a
Grow what? Grow hard and wood, get through wood.
culture of honor. That's Red Truck Men. It's built and run by my friend Steve, and it's not just a group, it's a brotherhood.
And it's not Adam and Eve. It's Kirk and Steve.
It's a place to be known, to be called higher. In a world that is confused about manhood, Red Truck Men calls us back to God's original design, being strong, humble, courageous, and faithful. When you're
humble too, I love that he throws that in there. Yeah, that's your masculinity. Humble. Yeah.
a husband, when you're a dad,
Oh my God.
or a young guy searching for purpose, or maybe you're just a guy who's tired of
Oh my God. Why are they doing? Here's a young guy that just wants to get with an older guy that could maybe wrestle, until completion. And then, have sex in a red truck. I don't know. What it is.
sitting on the sidelines. You belong here. Because when men of honor link arms and they walk together in truth, families are strengthened, communities change, and legacies are built. So don't wait. Find your tribe. Step into the battle. Win the war. Visit redtruckmen.com. That's redtruckmen.com.
I have no idea what the fuck he's selling at all. He's just like, you got to get with men. Men, are you a man that wants to be with other men? Get a red truck and you can fuck all the men. I mean, I'm sorry, not fuck other men. You can be with all the men that you want. Maybe you're an old man looking for a young man. Maybe you're young and you're
To learn more and join the brotherhood today.
so confused.
We hope you enjoyed this dangerous conversation, James.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified when the next episode comes out. And leave us a comment in the comment section below so we can read that on a future Monday episode. Have a good day.
Oh yeah, it's I hear that's what you're supposed to do. Y'all just, if you're a YouTuber, you're supposed to read the comments at the same time that you release your episodes or something. It's a thing. I don't know. Wow. That was something. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for hanging out. And if you want to, play with stuff that's hanging out of your butt, just go to adamandeve.com. I know we already did this. I know, but it wasn't my fault. They were talking about red trucks and having sex with men. I guess they weren't having sex with men, but they were saying stuff about men, and it felt very sexy. Okay, go to adamandeve.com and get your red truck ass some loving. Anyway, Jesus Christ, I don't know what I'm doing here. But if you want stuff, we already did it. What am I doing? I'm already in the ad. Why am I'm like segueing. I'm segueing from the segue. And if you want more stuff in your ass, get my content in your ass. That was bad. Wow. What? How is that even? Okay. It's just ridiculous. What are we even doing here? If you want to, I'm lost now. I can't even see the stuff on the screen. Do any of that, right? Which is become a patron if you want to just support the show or whatever. It provides some money and stuff for what we do around here. It's patreon.com/Apostate. If you want to just do a one-time thing, That's paid on Cash App. Cash tag is Punk Apostate, all one word. If you want to become a member, hit the join button. Okay, if this is serious. There's a lot of good stuff when you hit that join button. Okay, you get extra live streams. You get streams that are live, and then they become not live. Well, once they're not live, then they go straight to members. Right, so you're gonna want to become a member, right? But also, you can email me, right, at punkapostate@gmail.com, and I read all of them. So send me an email. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you think of the show. Tell me your deconversion story. Tell me your favorite color. Don't email me to tell me your favorite color, please. Actually, I don't even know why people have those. Honestly, it's a color. It's not like it's a fucking movie or something. You know what I mean? Anyway, join our Discord. We have a Discord. All you got to do is click the link in the show notes there, and you can be a part of our Discord community, and it is a good time. Also, follow me on all the socials. That's right. All the links are below. No, I don't want you to do that with a USB. How did I pronounce? Did I say to stick your dick in a USB? I feel like I didn't. I don't remember saying anything about putting anybody's penis in a USB port. Maybe I did. Actually, now I think about it. Now I'm thinking back, and I'm like, I was thinking about stuff like that. So it's possible that maybe. Anyway, all right. Love y'all. Have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Same Brantley channel, same Brantley time. Bye bye. Oh, I got a dick in my butt.